Hello guys, this is Coach B with MasterChess.com, and in this video I want to go over how to correctly and easily count in chess. What you don't want to do is count if I go here then he goes there, and if I go here then he takes the pawn, and if I take the pawn then he goes here, and if I move away then he goes, I'm not really sure as I already forgot where his king was at. If you count like that, you're not going to be able to easily calculate a given position, especially when you're in time trouble. You're going to have a hard time figuring out this position, counting like that all the way to the end, because what you're doing is you're giving your brain an arithmetic sequence to remember. What happens is that whenever you make a move, you jump on the other side of the board and make a move for your opponent, but then when you jump again on the left side with your king, you have to remember his previous move and then where he goes. Same story going back on the other side, you have to remember the previous move that you made and then where you're going over. And doing this, you're actually giving your brain a total of 72 moves to remember in order to calculate this position all the way to the end. So I want to show you an easier way to calculate these positions. What you want to do is count how many moves it will take you to queen first, and then count how many moves it will take your opponent to queen. The rule is simple. Whoever has less tempi to queen will always queen first, no matter whose move it is. If it's your move and it takes you less moves to queen than your opponent, then what's going to happen is that you're going to queen first and then your opponent will not get to queen. If it takes you less moves to queen, but your opponent has the move, what's going to happen, you're still going to queen first, however your opponent will be able to queen on the next move. If it takes you the same amount of moves to queen as your opponent, what's going to happen is that whoever has the move will queen first, and then the other person will queen on the next move. So let's take a look at a couple of positions applying this rule and see how we can easily count these positions. In the given position, it's white to move, and if we count, it's going to take white 1, 2, 3, 4, pawn push, 5, 6, 7 moves to queen. And if we count for black, it's going to take black 1, 2, 3, pawn push, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 moves to queen. So here we could see that it's going to take us 7 moves to queen and the opponent 8 moves to queen. Therefore, we should be able to queen first. And also because we have the move, what's going to happen is that the opponent will not get to queen. So let's go through the position and see this happen. And as you can see, we queened first and the opponent will move to h2 and he's not going to get to queen, as we're going to be able to win his pawn. In this next position, it's black to move, and if we count, it's going to take white 1, 2, 3, pawn push 4, 5, 6, 7 moves to queen, and it's going to take black 1, 2, 3, 4, pawn push 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, it's going to take white 7 moves to queen and black 8 moves to queen. However, even though black has the move, since it takes us less tempi to queen, we're still going to be able to queen first. However, black will be able to queen on the next move. So let's go through the position and see this happen. As you can see, we queen first, however black is able to queen on the next move. In this next position, it's white to move again, and if we count, it's going to take white 1, 2, 3, 4, pawn push 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's going to take black 1, 2, 3, 4, pawn push 5, 6, 7 moves to queen. So here it's going to take black less moves to queen than it's going to take us. However, because we have the move, what's going to happen is that black will queen first, and then we are going to be able to queen on our next move. So let's take a look and see this happen. So you could see here black queens first, but we are queening on the next move. Coming back from the beginning, I do want to mention that white here has to be super careful how he retreats the king after he takes black's pawn. Let's take a look why. After white takes the pawn and black takes on a3, Here, if white is not careful and he moves the king to f6, what's going to happen is that he's actually going to lose this game. If we look at the queening square for black is the square a1, and white is now in the path of the queen. Since black will queen first, he will queen with check, and then white will not get to queen on the next move. Let's see this happen. And now black will queen with check, and white will not be able to queen on the next move. He's going to have to move the king away, and if you study this pattern, you will see that black will actually be able to win this game, slowly bringing the king closer, forcing white's king in front of the pawn, and then bringing his king, and then winning the pawn and winning the game. In this next position, it's black to move, and if we count, it's going to take us 1, 2, 3, 4, pawn push 5, 6, 7, 8 moves to queen, and it's going to take black 1, 2, 3, 4, pawn push 5, 6, 7 moves to queen. So therefore black will queen first, and also because he has the move, we're actually not going to be able to queen, and he's going to be able to win this game. So let's go through the position. You can see he queened first, and we're going to move to h7. However, we're not going to be able to win. He's going to block that position and win the game. In this next position, it's white to move, and if we count, it's going to take him 1, 2, 3, 4, pawn push 5, 6, 7 moves to queen, and it's going to take black 1, 2, 3, pawn push 4, 5, 6, also 7 moves to queen. But because white has the move, what's going to happen? White will queen first, and then black will queen on the next move. So let's go through the position. You could see white queens first, and then black queens on the next move. This next position, it's going to take both white and black 7 moves to queen. However, black has the move this time. Therefore, what should happen is that black will queen first, and then white should queen on the next move. So let's take a look. Here, white again has to be aware of the queening square. The queening square for black is h1. Therefore, white does not want to step on c6. Like that, he's actually going to lose this game. But if he goes with the king to a6 instead, he is going to be able to queen on the next move. So you could see here, black queens first, and then white is able to queen on the next move. I do want to mention that this method of counting, together with the knowledge from other pawn endgames, will help you easily calculate even more challenging types of positions. So let's take a look at a couple of positions like that. In this position, it's white to move. And here, white has to take a decision if he should go after black's pawn, or if he should retreat and try to play for a draw. Both kings are far away, and calculation is very, very important here. Well, if we count for white, it's going to take him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves to take black's pawn. Well, as for black, it's going to take him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves to take white's pawn. Therefore, black will be able to attack white's pawn first. So here, white should play for a draw, not for a win. Let's take a look to see if he does try to go after black's pawn, what's going to happen, and then what is the correct play in this scenario. So let's say here white goes after black's pawn. And you could see here black attacked white's pawn first, and even though white will be able to attack black's pawn on the next move defending his pawn, if you saw the lesson on landmine, you will see that white will actually lose this game, as black will simply come with the king to h6, and now white cannot hold on to his pawn or take black's pawn. He's going to have to retreat, and black takes the pawn, and from here black will be able to easily win this game, promoting the pawn to a queen. Therefore, coming back from the beginning, if white noticed that it's going to take him more moves to take black's pawn than it's going to take black to take his pawn, he should be playing for a draw here. But will he be able to achieve it? Well, if we count, again, it took black 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves to take the pawn. Therefore, white wants to make sure that when black takes the pawn, he is able to take the opposition on g4. Because if he is able to take the opposition, then he will be able to achieve a draw. Well, if we count for white, it's going to take him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves to reach the square g4. However, white has the move. Therefore, what's going to happen, black will still take white's pawn first. However, after that, white will be able to take the opposition on the next move, achieving a draw. So let's go through the position and see that happen. And you could see black will be able to take white's pawn first. However, white will be able to take the opposition on g4 on the next move. And we know that from here, white will be able to achieve a draw, reaching stalemate. Here's another position that involves pawns that are blocked and also the lesson of landmines. Here, counting is extremely important. We want to know if white should go after black's pawn on h5 or he shouldn't. Well, if we count, it's going to take white 1, 2, 3, 4, pawn push 5, 6, 7, 8 moves to queen if he does go after black's pawn. And it's going to take black 1, 2, 3, 4, pawn push 5, 6, 7, 8 moves to queen. Therefore, it's going to take them both 8 moves to queen. So if white does go after black's pawn, what's going to happen is that he is going to queen first, but then black will queen on the next move, and this position will end up in a draw. So let's go to the position and see that happen. So you could see white does queen first, and then black does queen on the next move, and here this position will end up in a draw. However, if we recall from the lesson of landmines, we know that pawns that are blocked have critical squares. For white, there's 3 squares to the right of his pawn and 3 squares to the left of his pawns. Same story for black, 3 squares to the right of his pawns and 3 squares to the left of his pawns. If we look at this position, white is already on one of those critical squares. Therefore, he should be able to win black's pawn. So the correct play here is king to d4. Now, black has only 2 options. He can retreat to e6 or retreat to c6. If he retreats on e6 now, if we count, it's going to take white 1, 2, 3, pawn push 4, 5, 6, 7 moves to queen, and it's going to take black 1, 2, 3, 4, pawn push 5, 6, 7, 8 moves to queen. And white does have the move, therefore he should be able to win this game now going after black's pawn. So let's go through the position and see this happen. So you could see white does queen first and black is not able to queen on the next move. If he moves the pawn to h2, white will simply come and take the pawn and win the game from here. And coming back, if black moves the king to c6 instead, white will simply outflank black coming to e5. You could see that the pawn on e4 attacks the square c5 and white attacks the square d5, therefore black cannot go towards the pawn. So here, let's say king c7, white will come to d5. If black defends his pawn, white will take the opposition, and then slowly he's going to improve, take the pawn, and now it's a fox and a chicken type of game, and white will win this game, as we've learned also in the landmines type of games. If you liked my video, please subscribe and don't forget to check out my new website, masteryourchess.com, where you can learn, practice, test, and master your chess knowledge.